is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Bran, and I'm legally obligated to say that I love Netflix Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Jacks, and I'm delighted by and confused by Netflix Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and Netflix Christmas movies have some splaining to do.
I'm Dan, and maybe I spoke too soon about last week's Netflix Christmas movie, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
Another Saturday is here, everybody.
Sounds like a bunch of thumbs up are headed our way this week.
Father Christmas is back with thumbs ups
right.
aplenty.
The sequel to Father Christmas is,
Yes.
which is a wonderful film.
Oh,
it's a philosophical tale.
It's
about discovering your own existence.
a silent film.
It's existential.
Yeah.
It's really a Christmas take on a lot of Kierkegaard's theories.
Which is really all that you can say about this movie, too. Another Saturday, guys. Can you believe it? Another week has flown right by. Christmas movies are just in full swing.
We're doing it.
How are we feeling? I hope that we're not overwhelmed by Christmas already, Alonso.
This is the time of year where I always forget that I'm going to have a million Christmas movies to watch, and I'm also going to have a million year-end awards, seeking movies.
Prestige dramas.
Prestige dramas. Thank you. Yes. So this is a full calendar for me.
Full calendar. Jax, what have you been able to watch? The Hallmark ones and stuff?
I mean, unlike Alonso, I don't have to worry about any prestige films. So I have a little more time in my hands, but I have not been keeping up with Hallmark the way I have in the past, except for Santa's Stakeout, which I was obsessed with. But I have a lot of stuff on my queue. The Netflix stuff. We'll get to it. How are you guys doing?
It's a great answer.
We're doing great.
I'm 100% overwhelmed, but it just is the 2 months. It's part of the fun of, It's like March Madness. There's 16 games each day. Do I watch them all? You betcha, but it only lasts for 2 days. This is kind of that just extrapolated over 2 months is all it is. So,
and you love this as much as you love March Madness.
No,
well,
but I will say adding this all, there's something, my personality does lend itself to liking this mad dash. We got all this stuff to do in a limited amount of time to do it. Let's go. I love that. So I'm here for that, but I'm coaching a basketball team this year. So I am not wanting for things to do right now. But that doesn't make it any less fun for me. I'm enjoying it.
I think I'm a week by week boy, I get over the weekend and I'm like, all right, I'll catch a quick breath. And then I get really excited about the next weekend.
Yeah.
Come Monday, Tuesday. Well, really, come Tuesday, I'm like, is it weekend time yet? Because I'm ready for this next batch of movies.
You're delusional. I will say, after last week's Netflix movie, I got really excited about this Netflix movie. And then
Dan, I'm sorry. Dan.
I saw the cast and I was like, holy cow, it's a room full of pros. This is going to be fantastic. So I get even more excited about this week's Netflix movie.
Hallmark is like Marvel in that they're constantly selling you the next movie down the line or the next 3 movies down the line
while you're watching the current
while you're
movie.
watching the one. Exactly. So it's not even so much you can fully absorb what it is you're watching because you're already being tantalized with what the next several installments are going to be.
But I will say, Bran, you did do the Lord's work, and a lot of people were really happy that you put out the video asking them to get rid of the ding.
I think it was all you. You did it.
Oh, I meant to say Bran, but not that I was not saying Dan, but I meant to say Bran. Sorry if I gave all of you credit.
I don't want to. I haven't heard anything from Hallmark,
Oh.
but I can only assume that
it was you.
That it was me.
Yeah, it had to be.
There was not much that we have done has unified the Hallmark community as a whole like that video. Where I don't know if you know this, you're a divisive character.
A little bit.
In the Hallmark
we got a review, Amazon review on our book that was like, it's great aside from the one guy that doesn't like the movies. And he was like, I mean, even Simon Cowell likes a singer every now and then. Like, why
Hey,
can't you like a movie?
Snow Bride.
Yeah, there's like 5 in there that I like. I
Hey,
don't know what he's talking
I'm
about.
sorry. Those dumpster fire T-shirts sell like hotcakes,
They
so I
really
don't know
do.
what anyone's talking about.
Unless we're at Christmas Con when we have to awkwardly explain what they are. But everywhere else, they sell out very quickly. Actually,
Here's what it means. Here, it's
we actually don't like the movies like you like the
It's
movies.
probably not for you.
Please,
Jax.
still love 'em.
Jax, I want to know your plan because next week we're covering Christmas Switch 3. And I want to know what your plan is. Are you gonna sneak
Going
in?
cold?
Are you gonna do 1 and 2 beforehand?
So I was actually going to humbly request the advice of the Deckies and of the 3 of you, and Panta, if he wants to weigh in. Whatever you guys tell me to do, I'm going to do.
Wow.
Majority wins.
Well, I just think you just should not watch them. Well, Vanessa Hudgens.
This is what I would say.
Wonderful.
I think,
but it just.
I think that you should watch at least the first one.
Okay.
You're gonna.
And I think you could get by without the second
You're going to
one.
be confused, but
You'll-
if you don't watch the other 2, you'll probably enjoy the zaniness of the performances more in the third one. Whereas if you watch the first 2, I get the feeling you're going to feel like we feel, which is like, oh, we're switching again.
But is that fair, Alonso? The first one, I think, really builds the foundation. The second one, we do introduce one more Vanessa Hudgens, but it's more of the same, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the second one is maybe spinning its wheels a bit. Look, if you have the time, sure, watch the first one. If you don't, maybe watch our reviews of the first 2,
there you
and
go.
that'll,
That's right.
you'll get the full
Yeah.
fill in.
Also, I mean, I'm a completist. If it was me, I would probably go back and just like make myself do it. But
Yeah.
I'm not in that boat. Thank
But that's
goodness.
exciting. It's exciting. We know that that's coming.
That's right. Next week, Princess Switch 3.
And that's like I'm proving my point. That's just who I finished this one and I'm like, what's next? Oh, the next one's good. So I'm excited again. Are you guys ready to
Let's
dive
do
into Father
Guess
Christmas?
who's back?
Father Christmas
Again.
is back.
Yeah, he is.
That's just what I've heard.
Kelsey's back.
Tell a friend. It originally aired on Netflix on November 7th, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off on December 22nd with Caroline Christmas and her husband, Peter. I always like when there's a British name like Peter, that you can like say it like that.
I'm happy you're happy.
It's Peter! Peter! Peter!
Peter.
Peter!
You know what? It is fun. Peter.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't really Caroline, like that doesn't Peter.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Caroline,
Caroline. No, it's Peter.
Peter.
It's got the R at the end.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Caroline wants Christmas to be perfect, and Peter wants her to relax. She has a lot of baggage because her dad abandoned the family on Christmas Day when she was a kid. Her family is coming for Christmas. We first meet her sister Vicky, who's dropped off by some rando on a motorcycle. Then Joanna comes, and she's a fancy fashion girl and brings her boy toy Felix. And then Paulina, who's like super smart, serious, is writing a dissertation on the Beatles because, you know, you gotta. They all don't really seem to like each other, especially Joanna and Vicky. They really just go at it. It comes out that while Vicky was in Florida, she stayed with their dad. They're all very shocked by this. Why would you do that? And then suddenly a car rolls up, and out comes Father Christmas himself. And some might say that Father Christmas is back. He brought a girlfriend named Jackie, and there's a bunch of fighting and bickering. You know how it goes. They go to this like Christmas fair thing, and Father Christmas dresses up like Father Christmas. It is, whoa, wow. He has a conversation with his granddaughter, and it seems like he's really turning a corner. Like, he's a good guy. He's going to stick around. The next day, he stands up at lunch for a speech, and we're like, oh, this is going to be the one where he like apologizes for being the worst and stuff. He doesn't do that. Instead, he ends up getting into a fist fight with his brother. They take it outside. He ends up getting punched, and he's like, you know what? No more of this. Instead, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. No one saw it coming. They're all shocked. And after getting that out of the way, as you do, he decides now's the time to apologize to my daughters for leaving them. But he does comfort them by informing them, I've paid for everything in your lives without you knowing, and that your mom has been keeping me up to date on what you're doing, and I'm proud. and they all decide that's good. It's time to forgive and go to a pub and celebrate and sing. When they get back, the girlfriend has put up outside decorations and goes to plug them all in, and the power goes out. But the family all makes the best of it. And on Christmas Day, Peter finds a positive pregnancy test in the bathroom trash can. And he's frazzled by this because a storyline that has been going on throughout this movie is that he and Caroline had not done something for quite some time. A little something, if you know what I mean. A little something. So he assumes, that she must be having an affair.
Yeah.
Because they did do a little something the night prior, but that's too quick. That's too quick of a
There's
turnaround.
no way of a turnaround there. Yeah.
Mathematically, scientifically, speaking. So he is like, I'm out of here. And he storms out and throws his coat and does this whole thing. It comes out that Joanna is the one who's pregnant. Yay. Then it comes out that the reason why Father Christmas left in the first place was because his wife, their mom, had an affair with Brother Christmas, John,
Brother Christmas.
John's house.
Yeah.
And also that Vicky is the result of that affair. Whoa, everyone is shocked. And it comes out that Father Christmas brother is the father. It's this whole thing, and so Father Christmas is blameless. Father Christmas goes to find Peter and catches him up to speed on the fact that his wife didn't have an affair and everything's fine. So they rush to make it to the kids' nativity performance, which is like modernized, I guess. It's something. The family eats together and they laugh together, and it snows and they're all happy, and that, my friends, was Father Christmas is back.
We did it.
We did do it. Did I leave anything of importance out?
Of importance? No.
Thank you.
No. You nailed it.
I did the best I could. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this movie down with, I believe, 4 segments, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Cool.
We voted ahead of time. Yeah.
Tiddlywinks?
Oh, I don't know. With remote?
Tracy said she doesn't have Tiddlywinks.
She doesn't have it, and we do a lot of prep there.
So
if we can't prep for 3 or 4 days, it's like smoking a brisket.
It's like smoking a brisket.
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks is the brisket of bits.
That's right. Yeah.
Brisket of bits on
when you say bits, you mean segments.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a bit.
No.
It's a segment of the show.
It's a bit. It's like a small bit.
It's a little bitty segment.
It's like a little bitty
Okay.
segment.
Gotcha.
It's a tiddlywink.
Okay,
I'd say.
good.
Unlike the Razzle Dazzle, which is a huge.
Which was a
We
full
can't.
look.
We can't.
Look.
We don't have the. We don't have the
Listen,
time.
you
I
think
get
the
it.
brisket, man, that thing's got to no.
We're too thick into the holidays at this point.
Oh boy.
That's like a whiskey. It's like a
like a-
7-year barrel-aged whiskey. Is what that is.
Let's get to the hot take where we share exactly how I felt of this movie.
Feeling good about it, Bran.
I'm going to start with Jax. Jax, second Netflix Christmas movie of all time for you. The first one, Love Heart. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Father Christmas is back, comes on your television screen. You watch it, and I want to know how you're feeling now. Second movie in. What are your thoughts on Father Christmas is back?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little analogy for this one. This movie felt like to me, I love a little glass of champagne around the holidays or Prosecco, but I don't drink a lot. This movie was as if I had had 2.5 glasses of champagne on an empty stomach. Like, I was a little delighted. I was a little confused. It was too much for me, but nothing horrible happened. And then I woke up and I felt like I had a good time the night before, and I was singing and laughing and it was fun, but I had a little bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Like that was what this felt like to me. I will say I love British accents. I love watching and giving over the top performances. These are things that I enjoy. But when you put all of these zany characters in one movie, what's cool about that is, like, if you've ever watched a panto, because I'm a huge theater fan, that is kind of what that is. It's all over the top and they're all in the same play, and that's cool. Watching that in a movie is interesting because while you understand that's the genre and the world of the movie, it just felt like there were too many of those zany characters in one movie. Yet I appreciate that the performances themselves were actually pretty good. And I don't think those over-the-top performances are actually as easy to give as someone would think. But it was a lot.
Alonso?
I feel like I owe an apology to the makers of Christmas in Carolina.
Oh,
Oh my
boy.
God.
Whoa.
Because
Holy cow.
they clearly were working with very few resources and not a lot of locations and, one camera that maybe fell over at some point. We're not sure. and they did the what they could with what they had.
And they crushed it. You're right. Yes.
This movie has an English manor house. It has like name actors with, track records. It has clearly, has a budget to rent a Rolls Royce and all this other stuff. And it is one of the most singularly painful experiences I have ever had watching a movie, let alone a Christmas movie. I love a dysfunctional family Christmas comedy. It's one of my favorite kinds of Christmas movies. But there is maybe nothing worse than a bad comedy, because a bad anything else becomes funny by accident, but a bad comedy just sits there and sucks the life right out of you. And so I'll just say this. Dave White watched like 15 or 20 minutes with me last night, and he gave one of the most devastating critiques I've ever heard him utter.
Oh, look out.
I've seen Hallmark movies better than this.
Oh, boy.
And coming from Dave, that is damning.
That is something right there. Man.
I need to work on my Dave impression because I want to say it, but I can't.
No, we got to work on it.
I got to work on that. I can't come in.
It's just
cold
so
turkey of
perfectly gravelly.
Yes,
you
so
know,
perfect.
like you can't break that out until you're ready.
That's exactly, I'll work on it and see what I can do next week. I dislike this movie with a passion.
Oh boy.
Not only did it not take very long for me to just be annoyed by it, but I couldn't get past how quickly they let Father Christmas off the hook here.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
So much.
You leaving your children because your wife had an affair with you it's that you don't get a pass for, like, you don't just get a, hey, okay, we did it. That's what, like, first they forgive him, like, just because he says I paid for everything and, mom has been keeping me up to date and I'm proud of you. And I was like, man, they're really just letting it go. But then I got more frustrated the more we found out about it.
It's like he didn't do anything wrong and still just was an absentee father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost rather you just be the absolute worst and just be I was a drunkard. I wasn't going to be able to be a good
I went
dad
to a
for
dark
you.
place.
Yeah, I went to a dark place.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they spun it originally. Like, I wasn't fit to be a dad at the time.
No, he desperately wanted to be the dad, but decided he couldn't talk to his children because his wife had an affair.
But they were on good enough terms for her to keep him updated. Like,
it's patently absurd.
I couldn't get over that fact. It frustrated me more than it should have because it doesn't matter. But yeah, I just it's a hard skip if you haven't seen it yet. Don't, because it's just not worth the time.
Yeah, this movie is frustratingly abysmal. It is. Alonso is like, Christmas in Carolina is the worst movie. I want to be very clear. Like,
sure.
It's a worse movie qualitatively, but you have people, like, regardless of their off-screen personalities. I mean, John Cleese and Kelsey Grammer, say what you will about them as people, two of the best. I mean, from a comedic timing standpoint, those two, they're great comedic character actors. Elizabeth Hurley, amazing. Chris Marshall, Natalie Cox, they are longtime veterans of this stuff. The British make really good madcap screwball comedy ensemble movies. It is all of this, those five actors on paper in this description, the description of this movie is a home run. It's a home run. And instead, it's like they just forgot to do the work of actually crafting, some character development and some funny moments and some dialogue, or like some sort of center that grounds you. So you can, like in Arrested Development, they try to ground you with a center character that makes all the zany so much funnier. And instead, you're just adrift amidst a sea of mostly bad jokes. And you can almost feel it in the performances. Like everyone keeps ratcheting their performance, hoping their commitment to the zaniness masks the fact that there's nothing, the Emperor has no clothes, because the Emperor has no clothes. It is just bad. I watched 20 minutes and it was a rudderless ship filled with talent destined for the bottom of the sea. I'm sorry. It's just a terrible movie. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. And we reviewed yesterday, it just came out yesterday, A Christmas Treasure. That's a bad movie, folks. That movie's bad. This movie is bad with a sprinkling of millions of dollars on top. It's bad with a budget and a cast.
I would watch Christmas Treasure over this again because I get Jordan Sparks singing.
No, this is probably qualitatively better, but it's 25 minutes longer. So give me A Christmas Treasure just on that alone. Yeah.
Listen. Guys, we keep bringing up Christmas in Carolina. I cannot recommend that movie enough.
Dude, I'm just telling you, from now on, Bramblefest is including a watch party every year. A late night, everybody, we finish karaoke, 10:30, 11, we start Christmas in Carolina.
Jax, you got to watch Christmas in Carolina.
You have to.
It's free on Roku. You got to watch
It's like 7 minutes long. What is it like? It's like an hour. It's like an hour.
It's like 70.
It's an hour and 10 minutes max. It makes no sense, and it was made for a couple of scratch-off tickets. It is just.
Well, no,
fantastic.
I have to. Yeah. If I could make it on my iPhone, maybe it'll inspire me to do my own 73 minutes.
The sound would have been better if you just used
iPhone. Yes, for sure.
Which is impressive.
For sure.
Let's get to all the feels. Part of the show, we talk about what in this movie gave us feels. Any feels to be had, Jax?
I do have one, you guys. I've got one feel. So the Jackie character, who maybe because we share a name, but I was oddly charmed by her. And there's one, God bless you. There's one sweet moment when they've just announced their engagement, when she's announced her engagement to Father Christmas, and they're at the window and she's looking out with him at all of his daughters, and she says, "Go to them. This must be hard for them." And it was actually like a really sweet moment that I thought was really well played and tender. And, I look to have these feelings. I really do. I seek out the vulnerability and these tender moments. And I was able to find one singular one in this movie. And for that, I am grateful.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Alonso?
Wow. I'm gonna borrow a line from Dan, which I think really needs to be in the next batch of Bramble Jam t-shirts, and that is "Search my heart, found nothing."
No, we got one. It's got a Grinch smile on it. It just says, "I searched my heart and found
really?
nothing." Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, I want a black one of those. Why am I telling you? I can go purchase it.
You have just as much power as I do.
Like, Tracy, buy me a shirt. What do you want from me?
My feels was you guys know Caroline, the one from the beginning.
Yes. Oh yes.
Her, when she gets a little alcohol in her, I found to be quite delightful. I thought she was very fun. And the whole scene with the dancey dance, and then she gets on the bed and she acts like she fell asleep. That was the one chuckle that worked. Like, that was the one bit that made me actually laugh. I thought that was funny. So
there you have
kudos to you.
Wow.
I also searched my heart and found nothing, but I will give you a feel just because we're here. You're going to love this. I got Steven Spielberg feels, and here's why. Stay with me. Have you heard the story of Steven Spielberg's parents? Have you heard this story?
No.
Have you heard the story about the parents, Alonso? I thought maybe you would.
I'll know after you tell it. I don't know.
Okay. This movie, what it does terribly, some of this actually happened in Steven Spielberg's family. That's just why a lot of his movies are about father-son relationships. His dad left when he was like a teenager. He never forgave him. And then his parents got divorced. And then as an adult, his mom informed him that his dad actually did not have an affair. She had an affair. And he left so his impression of his mom would not be ruined. And then here's the best part of the story. His parents get back together.
Wow.
In real life. So like if you wonder why Steven Spielberg makes the movies that he makes, that is what his background was. And his parents got back together in their old, like both of them, I believe, were senior citizens. I could be wrong with that, when they got back together.
That is adorable.
So this movie, what it tries to do so terribly, like it reminded me of that story, which I saw, I believe, on 60 Minutes years ago with Steven Spielberg and his parents. And I remembered the story, and it's a wonderful story. And it gave me feels in spite of this movie giving me none.
Watch it not be Spielberg.
Do it better be.
You just misremember.
No, I looked it up beforehand. I'm not coming in that hot without having some background knowledge. Are you kidding me?
He doesn't want to
fascinating
fact check.
because you on a regular basis don't fact check a single thing.
I don't fact
Katrina
check.
Law's in 19 movies.
And I want to be clear. I don't fact check Hallmark because it's not worth it.
Okay.
I want to be clear on that. That's what I don't fact check.
False.
Oh, Dan, the number of times that I think about texting you after hearing an episode and I don't, you don't look things up. I'm sorry.
Gosh, no, never.
And I don't just mean Hallmark stuff. I mean like regular stuff.
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm good. I know what I'm saying.
As long as you know.
Yeah.
As long as you know. You are to facts as I am to grammar. Like I can't get
the
it.
best you can.
And I just try to blow by.
I am never ever purposefully telling you anything untrue.
That's true.
That is
true.
I want to be clear about that. Never.
The thing that I love
The
about
Katrina
the
Law,
Katrina
I'm just
Law
like,
bit
yeah, it's so great.
is how sure you are.
Yeah.
Like you are so confident.
What do you want from me? Like I'm not trying to be
I
confident.
love
It's
that-
just how I talk.
I love that you shoot
It's the
your
high school
shot
principal in him.
I'm just like, yeah,
I
Katrina Law,
dare
this
you
is
to
your second
question
movie.
me.
Third, okay, whatever.
Well,
Third, great.
third,
Let's move along.
Could have been either one.
Yeah.
What's in numbers are just numbers.
That's right.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here in October. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted that fiddlesticks?
No, you mean Tiddlywinks?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got the fiddlesticks
Yeah,
ready.
yeah. That's
Do you want that?
no. Scrap it, Trey. Scrap it.
I wasted my time?
You wasted your time because you didn't listen, and that's on you.
Yeah, listen. Steven Spielberg. All right. Trace, thank you.
Oh man.
We got a new review about Trace on Apple Podcasts.
People don't like her.
People
They
don't like
said
Trace.
the guy with the really shrieking voice.
First
bothers
of
me.
all,
I'm not sure if that's a separate guy or if it's one of the guys doing a voice. Those are my favorite reviews.
Tracy is Tracy. I don't.
Wait, Alonso, do you
No.
and I need to put some time in the calendar to get a bit going for next week that you and I haven't been?
Dude, if you got a voice, just start talking and we'll play along. I promise.
I was gonna say they're very yes and around here. So,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
We haven't,
yes,
we haven't
and
brought
we
in
are.
a new voice in a day.
Oh,
So,
that's true. Been a while.
guys, let's get. I mean, Tammy.
Is that even out yet? Oh, it
yeah,
is.
Tammy Yums.
Yeah, that's right.
It's-
Tammy Yums.
Tammy
we
Yums is
did.
excellent. Hey, let's talk about this one with the wait whats. Talk about the things in this movie that made us go, wait, what? Jax, what do you got?
Okay,
Are you
so
okay?
I not really. I mean, the thing is, this movie was a lot of wait whats. I'm gonna limit it to one that I actually out loud said, "Wait, what?" and had to watch it 3 times to make sure that I actually saw what I thought I saw. When I think Joanna just grabs the boyfriend and just makes out with him and then like sits down and barks like a dog. Did that happen? Can someone actually talk to me about it and tell me what it was? Like, this is an actual question. I get that this was zany. I get that there were things we didn't like. I get that stuff was over the top. But this is a genuine, it's not even a question, it's a plea. Can one of you explain to me what was trying to happen there?
I have no idea.
I got nothing.
If you haven't barked after a kiss, I don't know what to tell you. you either get it or you don't.
Clearly.
If you know, you know.
You know, you know.
I honestly like it was so wild even in this movie that I couldn't even believe that I had seen it. I thought that my contacts had fogged up. I thought that maybe I was tired. I thought that I was drinking seltzer water. I thought maybe I was drunk. I had no idea. And it was just that I couldn't believe what I was watching. So that was my wait, what?
I just imagine that scene, like somebody going, "We need a little something more here." This movie isn't out of the box.
Last take, just go wild. Come up with something.
Bark like a dog.
Talk about yes, and I mean, really though, there is something about that just as an actor, I go, I love just thinking about, like you said, Dan, like that actually sets the scene for me where I can oddly appreciate it, and someone being like, "I'll try anything."
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
To that point, I think that's why I appreciated Caroline's dance scene with Peta. Is I imagine that's an uncomfortable thing to shoot. Like you have like both of them kind of going back and forth. She's in, her thing, and that's a weird thing to shoot.
The reason I didn't like the scene was it was like they didn't edit. Like they just kept all of her dancing.
All of it. They didn't
like, we'll edit it later, and then they just never edited it. They're like, well, just keep it all in there. Sure, why not?
Yeah. I can appreciate when someone really goes for it on camera.
Get out of town.
I know. Alonso?
Whew. I mean, to pull out a wait what is to imply that there's anything in this movie that remotely resembles human behavior. But if I had to pick one, I would say it is the sister who's been spending the last 10 years writing a thesis about why the Beatles broke up. She does not speak of this subject in a way that any academic who has devoted the last decade of their life would do. She's just like, "Oh, I love them." It's like, no, you would have much denser jargon by this point. And also your Beatles references, which she makes constantly, and they're never funny, would be deeper cuts.
It just seems like such a it seems so tired. I don't know. That was the only way to describe her character is it just seemed tired. Like it seemed like it was from a movie from 30 or 40 years ago. It was a really wild bit.
I also found it odd that they're all like annoyed by the Beatles thing, but yet the kid named his guinea pig Ringo.
Yeah.
Which I found like either you're over the Beatles and you don't let your kid name a guinea pig Ringo, or you're down with the Beatles as well. Down with the sickness.
Down with the sickness. You mother, get up.
I have a couple. One, the Father Christmas is talking to the granddaughter, and she's talking about her solo. And she said she's not a good singer.
This is a big one for me.
And Father Christmas says they wouldn't let you go on stage if you weren't a good singer. Father Christmas, I know you ducked out early.
Yeah.
But if you've ever been to a children's play ever in your life, you know that is factually accurate.
There is no prerequisite.
In fact, I think it's required.
Right.
I think it's required. You have to be a bad singer to get a solo at a kid's concert. It's just is what it is. You absolutely would still be able to go on stage if you weren't a good singer. But
and then he doubles down and he's like, he doubles down and he says, if you go up there with confidence, people will think it's good. No, that's also not true. I mean, we won't tell you that it's bad because you're a child, but like it can still be objectively bad.
Like you can like go through life with confidence and like get through some doors at a concert venue that you like maybe are for VIP.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a good singer.
That's right.
Like it gets you through closed doors.
That's right. That's all it does.
And then towards the end at the little nativity, the play thing that is in question. What is it? It seems like like the audience, the adults are responding to this play as if it is
a thing.
Like they are whooping and hollering, and it's like a graduation thing. But it's just these kids and they're just saying some modern day things, but the crowd's eating it up. But when they're introducing the music teacher, they're all applauding for the music teacher, and they pan to the music teacher, and she is giving herself an applause like no one I've ever seen. She's like, you know what? I earned this. I have been training these kids and I earn it. Good for me. That's right.
Yeah.
Dan?
There's an overarching theme that you touched on in the hot take, which is this guy didn't do anything wrong, but just becomes estranged from his kids to like commit to the bit, I guess, which I found to be just patently absurd.
But just to be clear here,
Yeah.
he left because his wife had an affair and left his kids because of that.
That's right.
But for their whole life, do you know the person who he was communicating with?
The one that cheated.
The one that cheated on.
Yeah.
The reason why he left in the first place.
Well,
it's preposterous.
The best part is that the mom, who is the cheater, she knows this secret.
Yeah.
And she has the audacity to say, just because he didn't stay in touch doesn't mean he didn't want to. What else could that mean? He did nothing wrong. He didn't call. He didn't write. He didn't do anything for a lot of years.
He didn't want to.
Like, that's not. Yes.
Do you know how many people like this happens to, and the nasty fight over custody? Like, if you want to be in your kid's life, you will make it happen. I want to
see that deleted scene that's a flashback, and he's like, "I'm leaving. I can't believe you cheated on me." And she's like, "Okay, you leave. I'll keep the house. Don't ever contact my kids again." What? Just absurd.
But I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, that is some Danny Glover hiding the letters from the sister in The Color Purple level.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
You know. Oh yes, I've been talking to your father for decades, but I didn't tell you about it so that you could resent him for it.
Yeah, I just couldn't get that's the entire premise of the film is just absurd.
It's also, I have to say, it's like the patriarchy where a woman is villainized for an infidelity more than a man is for not keeping in touch with his children for 18 plus years.
At fault.
She cheats on him, and then he leaves for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. 6 to 1, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
The other ones I have are somehow this family comes in from all around the country and the world, and she says, "We're going to have a good time because I volunteered us all to work the Christmas carnival." She volunteered her entire family, and they show up and they just do it like they planned it. They're like, "Yeah, I'll work this wheel over here."
I'll just say this family does not strike me as the volunteer type,
nor the type to just go along with plans. But they get the Christmas carnival and they're like, "How do I pitch in? Where can I best serve the community?
That's right.
Where can I do that?" And while we're there, and I know this is played for laughs, I just want to be very clear: you cannot steal hundreds of thousands of dollars of clothes and Rolls Royces and give them to charity, and it's still a crime. Like, what happened there, even though it would be good for them to lose that, still 100% a crime. You can't steal a car and give it to charity and go, "Tough luck." It's still theft. Like, that still is the thing that they just some light thievery of $500,000 worth of
light thievery.
That's all I got.
It's time for What the Flicks, the part of the show we talk about things that we still want to know about, the questions that we might have after watching it. Jax, any questions that you have after watching this movie aside from why?
Yeah, I do. I've got one. I want to know if these two wonderful child actors in this movie looked at each other and like in puzzlement and confusion and just like gobsmacked at what they were watching when they were in the midst of shooting this movie with all of these really famous, successful actors, and they were like, "I guess it's up to the two of us to find some sort of grounding performance in this." And that's what I want to know, like, or if their parents or, you know, the agents or managers even had a talk like, "Wow, this is a mess. They got to keep it grounded," because, you know, I do want to give a shout out to those kids. Like, they I don't know, they tried to find some reality there. So yeah, that's my question. If that was a discussion that they had, and that they are forever bonded by knowing that they went through a thing together.
It's their Vietnam. Kids are on gravitas duty.
It's their Vietnam.
Alonso?
So there is, you know, as somebody who watches a lot of movies like this, there have been a lot of films where a family gathers in a big old house and, you know, hashes out, you know, old, you know, regrets and recriminations. And there are some great ones. There's a French film called A Christmas Tale with Catherine Deneuve. It's on Criterion Channel. I highly recommend it. There are a lot of mediocre ones. There's a British film called Surviving Christmas with the Family that's kind of whatever, but leaps and bounds beyond this one. And then there's one that is premiering December 3rd on AMC Plus that I reviewed out of the Toronto Film Festival this year with Keira Knightley and Matthew Good, called Silent Night. And it is about, people gathering in one of these British country houses for Christmas. Only the twist is at midnight or so, the world is ending.
Wow.
Because of tornadoes of toxic gas that are going to destroy everything.
Good grief.
And I really
love that.
wanted the toxic tornadoes to come into this movie. So if there's going to be a sequel, I want to see everyone in this film have to face the toxic tornadoes, because they have it coming even more than the awful people in Silent Night do.
Wow.
Oh,
Boy.
So yeah, oftentimes when I'm watching these movies, I'll Google them and go on the IMDb's and float around and look at the actors and stuff like that. And I just want to know if there was ever a conversation between Caroline Quentin and Elizabeth Hurley about the age difference between the two of these people. One is the mom, and Elizabeth is her daughter.
Yeah.
And there is a 6-year age difference there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was there a conversation on set?
They're from the same generation as Tony Close. Like
Hallmark does that too, though. where
They
the mom
do,
is
but
like 8
this
years
is
older than
that's
the,
egregious.
That-
6
That's
years.
this was the most I guess egregious would be the word version that I can recall. There's definitely ones there's like, you're only 10 years older or whatever, but
they used to do it to
6
Angela Lansbury all the time. She was like 7 years older than like Lawrence Harvey, who plays her son in The Manchurian Candidate.
yeah. I just want to know what
Yeah.
that's like.
That's pretty shameless.
What that's like on set when you're a person that's playing your mom, or when you are the mom and hey, we would have hung out as kids, like, Dan.
I just want to know the charity that I need to give to make sure this doesn't happen again. Is it UNICEF? What is it? Just like tell me, Netflix, just shoot me a line, Dan@deckthehallmark.com, and I will make that challenge. That would be a personal check. It doesn't have to be a business check. I want to give, and I want to make sure people are happy that are needed to be happy. And I want to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. That's where I am with it.
That's beautiful.
Or the tornado thing. I like Alonso's thing too.
We did, everybody. Another Saturday in the books.
Yeah.
And we're
Hey,
gonna be back
speaking of
next
books,
week. Oh,
Speaking of,
wait,
I'm glad that Jax has us covered here. Like,
there
God
we
bless
are.
her.
Oh, look at that.
I'll be home for Christmas movies.
Have you been reading it as your evening like leisurely read?
yeah. For me, it's my nightly sort of meditation, how I calm down, get centered. Yeah.
I hear it's really solid, except for the one guy who keeps ruining everything by not liking the movies.
Yeah, it really takes you out of it. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard.
you're a feature, not a bug. Let's face
That's right. Yeah. Well, I hope so.
We'll be back next Saturday with Christmas Switch 3.
Ooh.
Also
Princess.
beginning next week.
Princess Switch.
What
3.
did I say?
Christmas Switch 3. We're
Whatever,
not
man.
switching Christmases. We've already done that. It's Canis Canis Beret.
I can't keep track.
That's Garland for you.
And the Lifetime Deck the Lifetime McCorked back next Wednesday with our first movie.
First
which we're
movie.
very excited
Man.
about. So more movies.
Roll
to watch. Very excited. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is presented by Philo TV. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in, Greenville, South Carolina. Set decor is by Plum at Haywood Mall. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on Bramble Jam Podcast Network, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com.